Okay, we're going to start today with Muladhara Mudra. That's you fold your third, fourth, and fifth finger into the palm. You touch your middle fingers together, and you pinch your thumb and index finger together. Then you bring the back of the fourth and fifth fingers to touch each other, which are folded into the palm. You extend your middle finger straight up, and you touch the thumb and index finger to each other in the back like that. Muladhara Mudra. So as you feel this mudra, remember it's rare that you find a person who doesn't get disturbed, and we all need to find ways to learn to withstand all the shocks and remain steady throughout the perturbations. I like that word. It's like perturbations, storms, and whirlwinds, which is another way to describe chittavritti, the whirlwinds of consciousness, when the storms of life hit you. So when you practice pranayama, you enter into a state that takes you on the road home. And once you arrive at home, you leave the road behind and you enter into the home. So pranayama also becomes the transition to pratyahara, and that's the doorway to meditation. I've accepted the fact that the gurus say there need not be any doubt about this. And the only way you overcome the doubt is you practice, you find out for yourself just how true it is. Yoga does both yoking, uniting two things, apavarga, the emancipation or the freedom, another word for moksha, literally means turning away from that which is inessential and not eternal, or at least temporary. And then kaivalya, how do you isolate and experience the aloneness of consciousness? What is consciousness in and of itself without content, without objects? So we do that by observing the movements of the breath in the pelvis, the abdomen, the thorax, and clavicular area, and even in the face, all the accessory muscles as well. So to that end, we're going to do Surya Vedana, Pratiloma, and Nadi Shodhana. Inhale right, exhale left, then inhale right, exhale both, inhale left, exhale both, then inhale right, exhale left, inhale left, exhale right. A few minutes with each. Let's get to it. Find your stance. Bring your hands deep into the roots of the thigh, and remember, squeeze the legs together so you get the lift not only just from your chest, but that extra lift that comes from Muladhara. All right. Raise the hand, tuck the chin, block left, inhale right, then block right and exhale left. All right, you're on your own. Now, for today's practice, we're simply doing open nostrils, but I've given you variations during the week. You certainly can do it with closed nostril on the inhale. You certainly can do it with a antar kumbhak, or internal retention after the inhale. And we didn't cover it this week, but in previous weeks we also could do it with mula bandha, squeezing the root lock at the same time. So you could add variations to all of these. And although we're not doing the partially closed on the exhale, which we'll do next week, you can do it now. All right, so as you're doing it, you're going to have a lot of chances to see whether or not the control of the fingers on the nostrils is the same when you do Surya Vedana or Pratiloma or Nadi Shodhana. Same pressure, same placement. Is one nostril different than the other? All these little permutations and combinations you'll figure out as you continue to practice yourself. Of course, the wonder about pranayama is it shifts you from dull mind to sharp mind, from overactive mind to passive mind, or over passive mind to active mind, from insensitive mind to sensitive mind, from sleepy state to wakeful state. So a lot of benefits accrue just by doing the practice, separate from how well you think you actually do the technique. Just keep doing it. And even if the depth of the subject outstrips our ability to fathom it, bit by bit, we'll get glimpses, we'll get glimmers, and then we become a little bit more aware of the relationship of state of mind and rate of breath. All right, now, without breaking stride, but again for the beginners, caution always if you're feeling anxious, anyway, not smooth, stop, take restorative breaths, and go back to the simplest breath. All right, now, without breaking stride, on the next cycle, you're going to breathe in through the right, but open both nostrils, breathe out both. Then you'll block the right, open the left, and breathe in. Then you open both and exhale. And now continue on your own. These techniques are for increasing the inhale and energization, so let the inhale be slightly longer than the exhale. Make sure you are not causing any throat tension by how you do your Jalandhara Bandha, and keep drawing the eardrums in. Pull inward toward yourself. So the technique is more like a Pratyahara technique. And then watch as you do the filling, like an elevator that goes from the bottom to the top, right? From the first floor to the roof, it climbs upwards. But we also talked about a lateral spreading, a widening of the breath, so the caliper-like movement of the floating ribs moves upwards then toward the armpit. If we said like a shape, letter U, or like a smile. And don't force. And then, of course, always keep the lift in the chest, the height of the chest, and the girth of the chest, the width of the chest. So the different kinds of pumps that we have in the body, we talked about the musculoskeletal pump, which creates differential pressures from high to low, low to high. And then we have also the respiratory pump, just the expansion and contraction of the diaphragm, the rib cage, intercostal muscles, right? When you inhale, the diaphragm drops down, it's like a fluid, pulls it down into the body. And then when you exhale, the diaphragm, like a piston, pushes up, and you expel the breath. Okay, and now very simply, you're going to continue, but now you're going to add the alternate nostril breath, and here you can make it samavriti, go for same wave, same frequency, same depth. So you inhale through your right, you exhale through your left, you inhale through your left, and you exhale through your right. Keep on going at your own pace. Now, of course, a lot of yoga esotericism has to do with Nadi Shodhana being the breath that purifies both channels and enables the kundalini to be aroused and go through the central canal called the Sushumna. So this is the way that you induce openness in that central canal called the Chitra Nadi. Now, of course, the shape of your nostrils, whether you have a deviated septum, you've had adenoids or some kind of sinus problem, congestion, which is why they usually say rinse out your nose, do your ablutions or purifications before you practice so the channels are clearer. But of course, if you're having trouble, you understand just like in asana, there's dynamic and static poses, like you can do jumping poses or move quickly from one pose to another, like in flow. But you also can do static poses, you hold them. Same thing in yoga. When you're feeling dull, you can do Bhastrika or some kind of sharp inhalation, or you can do very, very slow with retentions and have like static kind of pranayamas. So the same thing is true in the breath work as it is in the asanas. All right, so give it one more or two more rounds of inhaling right, exhaling left, exhaling right. See the calmness that descends. Notice how pulling away from the wall of the world temporarily induces the state of silence. They say truth is best expressed by silence and the most easily understood in silence, so practice being silent. Silence here doesn't mean that there won't be any sounds or interruptions. It means there's no reaction, no identification with it in the silent mind. It just dissolves. All right, now we're going to finish with one more round at your own pace of inhaling the right nostril, blocking the right and open, exhale left. And inhale through the open left, blocking left, exhale through the open right. Always end with an inhale through the right. Drop your hand and feel what's happening. and gently raise your head and open your eyes. All right, now the last thing I want you to do is to remember that mudra is the third chapter in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and there's a lot of different kinds of mudras. And one of them is called Shanmukhi Mudra, where you close off the gates. Shan means six, eyes, nose, and ears. Sometimes they call it 8 gates. Close off the anal aperture, mouth. Using Brahmari or Bihum is another way of internalizing, getting really deep. And it's such a simple one. I'll teach a different variation another day. But today, the last one I want you to do is you simply put your thumbs either into your ear or on the outside of the tragus and press it in. And then you put all your fingers on your skull like it was an electroencephalograph. As soon as you do that, you're going to feel a kind of indrawn sense. And then you just make the sound like a bee. If you close your eyes when you do it, you really feel how this takes you inside. Let's try it again. Close the traps and then breathe. So just like Om, that little technique can absorb you in the inner sound, the nada, N-A-D-A, which I talked about yesterday, nada anusandara. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.